Today is Wednesday, October 13th, 2021. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor 41 Week 4.
This episode's titled, They Hate Me 'Cause They Ain't Me.
We were sure that was either Xander or JD.
Well, you said Xander. I was locked on to JD, and we were both completely wrong.
Okay. Yep.
It was the amazingly arrogant Sydney. Okay, the episode kicks off. It's back at the Ua tribe on night 7, and Genie's not happy.
Ooh, not happy at all.
She's steaming. She trips over the fire, or some rocks around the fire, and then she congratulates him, says, good move. And then Ricard, in his Cruella Ricard, in his typical schmarmy way, says, would you like to talk about it? Genie walks off to go get some water, and when she comes back, she declares that they can do their own food.
She knows she's on the bottom. She's not going to look after them.
She completely mishandled that.
Yeah, I think
that was, I'm sure, everything she was feeling.
I understand it.
Yeah.
Certainly.
But that's not how you manage that.
No, and, I figure it blew over anyway, but still.
And they left it in because of the foreshadowing it basically ends up contributing to. And, Shan's a little peeved that she's being called out on her actions, so she's going to squash this, she tells Genie. And she shares about the extra vote, or the steal a vote, rather.
And I was Brad's number one.
Yeah.
He didn't share that with you. He kept that from you.
That's squashing it. That's not stoking the fire at all, Shan. And JD's chiming in. That's crazy.
What? You knew that and you didn't tell me? Now, I can't trust her.
I think he was egging Genie on it first, and then it dawned on him that, wait a second.
Yeah, I don't think that did her any favors.
You were busting my chops, but you were holding information.
That's right.
It's too bad. There could have been an amazing story arc here for JD, but oh well. He's going to let that slide. He got his extra vote back, so he's fine. He didn't seem to be reading Shan at all. I think that's because he couldn't see her face, but she was full of contempt with all her answers and her expressions.
Were you surprised
that we were privy to?
Gave it back right away?
I was. I kind of thought she was going to hold it as insurance.
Mm-hmm. I did too, so I was a little surprised that she gave it back right away.
Mm-hmm.
Though I think that was the wise move since he asked for it right then. So, and especially since Genie was mad at her too, because that could have gone ugly as well.
I suppose.
Especially giving it back to him, then they had the numbers if they teamed up.
Yeah.
She wasn't unaware of that.
Yeah. It's interesting to see it all play out and the risk that we're taking there. So were you surprised to see the full-on reward challenge separate? Day 8.
No, I'd already seen the picture. I knew that was there.
I guess in terms of the flow from how things had been going.
We've seen that one before.
We definitely seen that challenge before. And certainly all the elements of it. And it's going to be a 2-day cycle for this episode. So we're starting out on day 8 and we've got reward. You got to toss the ball up as it rolls down the ramp. You got to run through a rope challenge, basically without tripping and falling. And then catch the ball before it hits the ground.
If they're usually once they start reward and immunity challenges in the episodes, they continue that throughout the season. So that means if they're going to continue with these 2-day cycles for the week, then those people aren't going to get any down days off. It's like Well, you do this challenge this day, and then that one, and just then it's the next. It just continues on.
Drop the 4 and keep the 1, baby. It's all new. This is the monster.
So we're down to 13 now, though. They could merge anytime.
I suppose so. I don't think they will, though.
I don't think they will either. I think they're going to go push it down
the
to
the
11
grind,
at least.
Yeah, the grind's going to continue. Okay, what did you think about their rewards here? You get an expert on living off the land in Fiji, which is awesome.
That was awesome. Even if they didn't need it, it would still be awesome to have someone come in and teach you.
They've certainly done that
share and yeah.
previous seasons, but it's been a long while.
I very much like that kind of thing.
I remember when those 2 Red Beret guys came in. Was it Marquesas or was it Thailand?
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm one of those, and those 2 guys were incredible on the skills, and so to see that as the first place reward was exciting. I was already looking forward to what they were gonna learn, and then second place would get a large fish for a nice meal.
Now, do you think if that guy had Nathan had gone to the Blue Tribe, would Naseer have tried to go up the tree too and come down the head first?
I don't know. Maybe.
I thought about that. I thought,
Yeah.
oh, he kind of reminds me of Naseer, so I wonder if Naseer would do that. He'd feel he had to do it too.
Possibly. Yes, that's Naseer. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of Naseer, he and Erika are going to sit out this reward challenge. What did you think about how it played out? Ends up being a big Heather fail story.
Heather, yeah. I was just like, oh my goodness, girl, you got to get your feet up. But,
she didn't have that dexterity. Yeah.
No.
She may have never had that dexterity.
And that can happen at any age. If you don't have it, you don't have it.
Yeah, the interesting thing for the finish was, and it really ends up being the Heather struggle is what this reward challenge is all about. But Tiffany won it for Yase, and Genie won it for Ua.
Yeah.
So it's not an age thing.
No.
I mean,
Definitely
granted,
not.
she's a little older than them, but it's not an age thing. You know what I loved about the part after it was over and she had never gotten through it is Coach Danny. What an amazing coach he must be. The way he was there and giving advice and trying to help her. I mean, everybody chipped in and helped her.
I thought they handled it really as good as they possibly could have.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised nobody was even, openly showing any anger at her for causing them a loss.
I was watching Sydney really close.
Yeah.
But she didn't break off on her at all.
However, it was reward.
Yes.
We know they're getting food. They're getting fish. They're getting stuff. So, but how would they have handled it had it been
More
for
desperate?
immunity? Yeah.
Oh, okay, for
Well,
immunity.
of course, this week it wouldn't have mattered, but
Well, it would have been, yeah.
they should have let her play.
Yeah. It could have been more complicated as to who to take out, yeah.
Well, okay, we'll talk about that later, though. So,
Yep.
but yeah, for this, I was really impressed at how well Tiffany did. Actually, in both challenges, she's
certainly
been
did.
impressing me a lot.
That was 2 in a row she did good on after that terrible attempt she had on the balance beam out on the water. But certainly this was an even bigger fail for Heather. It just wasn't for immunity.
But even to have the yellow tribe getting the big fish, because they're the only ones without fishing gear, right?
Correct. Yep.
So that must have been awesome if they haven't been able to get fish. To just have some of that kind of protein now. Sounds delish.
Probst loves those moments. He owns it. What are you feeling? That's one of his favorite questions.
I like Tiffany stroking herself because she's kicking butt out there.
Yes.
I thought, okay, well, you did. So you go, girl. Pat yourself on the back. And
Yeah, Heather wanted to say that it was her age at 52, but she just wasn't in. She didn't have the physical conditioning. More importantly, she lacked the dexterity to do that challenge. I don't know that she was going to make it through that rope obstacle. It really wasn't about her age.
I thought Tiffany was over 52.
No,
Is she not?
No, I think she's 46. Wanted to lie and say she was 37. I'm pretty sure she could pass for that. I don't know. I don't have my notes on their bios in front of me.
I don't either, so okay. Either way, she did really well. Then we already covered this before because we talked about it last Saturday about the turtles and how cute they were. So that was kind of a repeat because that was that whole video. They don't usually show the video of that when it's in the show, and they showed the full video of that.
Yeah.
I thought that was odd.
That was so lazy.
Okay. Well.
But they teased it next time on, and then they showed it in an extra clip. So it was, yeah, not everybody watches the extra clips.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a minority. Yeah, so they see Evvie when they get back there at Yase, and she's all stoked and talking about the core four winning, and then she sees the metaphor of the turtles who keep trying and finally dig their way out of the hole. So Evvie's predicting a huge winning streak for them going forward.
Yep, and everybody is very impressed with Nathan and the fish he caught for them and all of that. So all of a sudden, Ricard tells us, we don't need Genie anymore. Really, dude?
That was perfect foreshadowing for Genie.
You know it all now?
I'll take that. I'll take my contribution away, and then, boom, we win. A guy who could provide.
Here, let me show everybody how to do this.
Yeah, here's how you cook, and here's how to season, and here's how to get these ingredients, and which thing goes where, and
yeah, but
go fishing at low tide. That's key.
Easy for him to do doesn't mean they can do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think Ricard jumped the gun a bit there. They might have found that out. That might have been what made him rethink things. Okay, back over to Luvu.
Wow, I am so disappointed in them.
I was too.
Hoping that was a misdirect, just a fleeting thought, but no. We get Erika talking to Deshawn, and she's eager to play. She's been all low-key, and she can tell Deshawn's thinking, and so she wants to share with him that they should really vote out Sydney.
Well, first she was talking about, she didn't want Heather around, and then she flipped over to Sydney because she saw her being very impulsive, throwing the flint and the machete. Mm-hmm. And I'm surprised that Naseer didn't say something to her about that.
He's probably already learned. This is day 8 after all.
I'll just keep my opinion to myself.
You can bet this isn't the first fit that Sydney's pitched out there.
Anyway,
Erika says she could be emotional and nasty, so they've already felt her burn.
I was surprised Deshawn really gave a good appearance of being right with Erika. Mm-hmm. And then he tells us, no, I want her gone. Very suspicious of her. She's been too quiet and she's too sneaky, and I trust Sydney much more, though I don't know that you should.
Yeah, how is that a good read for him?
Because Sydney's coming and telling him things that people say. So, of course, he trusts her more. She started early on filling him in about things. Mm-hmm. So
I still don't think you should trust Sydney, so I don't know that that's a great read on his part, but I understand the history, yeah. Well,
then he goes and tells Sydney.
Erika's too quiet, yes. Yeah,
and
so this
you're getting a little nervous about your girl.
This is our USBs. I had picked Erika to win the whole thing. You had picked Deshawn.
Yeah.
And now they're battling. Mm. And mine did not come out the better, for sure.
Well, this is another instance of they show us Sydney's ego.
Sydney didn't even think to guess Erika's name. It was like the last name that she came to.
Well.
But Sydney tells us that she's savvy and she's beautiful. So they hate me because they ain't me. And that's when we got our title. Okay.
And we were surprised because we did not even think about her. Then Deshawn tells us, or tells Danny, that he wants to get Erika out and tells him why and wants to throw the challenge. And Danny, I was feeling good about here because Danny's like, I'm not sure I could do that.
Yeah, it seemed like he was shutting it down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, no, he's not going to try. He's not going to be able to do that. Hello, immunity challenge.
Yep.
I could not believe it. Well, we saw once again there's no puzzle, so it's anybody can win.
Yeah.
And there's no puzzle at the end. So that's equal.
Certainly don't need puzzle solvers like Erika if there are no puzzles, huh?
True.
Okay, so they're going to have to jump off the platform. Some people will swim, but others could walk through the water. But they've got to arrive as a group at 3 different platforms.
I think most of them could walk through the water except maybe your little Erika.
Yeah. Well, I saw
She's so
Evvie
short.
swimming. Evvie.
Yeah, she did.
Yep. So there were several of them that were swimming in, I'm sure it's different depths at different places. So they got to go out and collect the bags off these floating platforms. The bags have heavy wooden blocks in them. They're going to take those wooden blocks to push them through a slide. And then one of the boards that comes out, once they get all the blocks loaded in, has a key. They use the key to unlock 3 rings, and it's a ring toss at the end. And they've certainly found ways to make ring tosses exciting when it comes down to, a head-to-head right at the end. As silly as a ring toss sounds, as a challenge, it can be exciting, and this one certainly delivered on excitement.
Well, I want to be really clear about I was disappointed that they were trying to throw the challenge.
Luvu was working, Danny and Deshawn were working to throw the challenge.
However, they did make it kind of funny and entertaining that Deshawn kept talking about, I was retying the knots.
How hard he was working to slow things down.
I thought, he's lucky nobody saw that because somebody would have called him on it. Can you imagine if Sydney had seen him do that? I would think she would have called him on it, but anyway, I thought that was just. And here Danny's like, I'm trying not to push too hard, but Naseer was like, let's do it.
Oh, when they were pushing the blocks through.
And I was like, go Naseer, go Naseer.
Yeah, Danny said he was in beast mode. He was definitely making it happen.
But then I thought when they got up to throwing the rings, I thought, oh man, they let Deshawn get up there.
He was doing a really good job of stalling out.
Yeah, of losing.
We missed the funny part too, where Yase at one point, Deshawn was saying, I was dragging and going so slow and tying these knots, and I look back.
And they're still in the water.
And Yase, Yellow Tribe, is still in the water. Not only are they in the water, Evvie appears for some reason to be swimming in the wrong direction.
Yeah, sideways.
Completely counter to what they need to be doing.
Where are you going?
Even
just stand up and walk out.
Called her out on it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm working really hard.
Yeah.
Deshawn's working extremely hard to slow everything down, throw the challenge,
I
and
can't slow down anymore.
the Yellow Tribe can't get out of the water. But eventually they do.
They did, and even caught back up and won. That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
That they actually won. Now, whether they would have or not if Blue had been putting all their energy into it, I don't know. But at least they did, and they were very excited about it. And again, I was impressed by Tiffany.
Yeah, she did great.
And for some reason, I kept getting the indication that she and Liana were getting a little bit more chummy.
Okay. I didn't
We didn't see
that.
as much of Evvie. Not with them,
Evvie got featured in the episode when they got back to camp after reward, because she got to talk about how they're the little tribe that could, and when everyone encountered them out, and then she got featured again with the turtle scene.
Yes, but not with the 2 girls.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot, nor was there a
We saw
need.
just the girls. We saw those 2.
So I think you might be reading something else into that.
Maybe. Maybe not. We shall see.
Yeah.
Okay, so Anyway, I just love Naseer jumping in there and taking over, and there was nothing they could do about it.
Yeah, and
And even then, it was really tight.
it ends up being a great face-off
Yeah.
with Naseer and JD, and JD's just goofing things hard. Shan busted his chops in a confessional afterwards.
Well, okay, I get that, Shan, but she's the tallest one of them over there. Why wasn't she throwing then? She's not been putting herself out there
She
for that
contributed.
kind of thing.
No, not at the end.
Exactly.
But she definitely contributed along the way. She was up there untying
Yeah, she
the
did.
bags and getting things going with the. She was the one who found the key in the blocks for them.
But since
could
she
start
and
throwing.
Sarah did the puzzle in the very first challenge, and, her name was brought up to go home, she's not really done any of those final challenges again.
She hasn't been involved. We haven't gotten to see her doing it at the end. You're right.
No, and but she did complain about him not doing it well. So that's my thought too. If you jump in.
So it ends up being quite the nail biter between Naseer and JD's theatrics seem to be visually explaining why Naseer comes out ahead at the end.
Well, and two, Deshawn talking about if he could find the board that had the key in it, he was going to throw it as far away as he could. And of course, it was Erika that said, "I found it."
Yep. So between Erika and Naseer, they kept them going.
Was not supposed to be thrown.
Thankfully, they avoided a disaster there. Although the level of effort they put into committing to throw the challenge doesn't bode well for them.
You were commenting during, you're like, "Boy, I bet Erika's texting somebody about now." After seeing that.
Okay, day 9 still. We're back at the UA camp. We see a spider catching a fly in its web. Genie's talking to JD, and she's telling him, "I have no choice. I'm going to have to roll the die." And she's asking if he'll vote for Ricard on the off chance that she does hit it and she's safe, then they could potentially vote out Ricard that way.
I wanted to say one more thing about Luvu, and that was how Deshawn seemed to be genuinely excited about Naseer deserved. He talked about him deserving that moment, that he wished it hadn't been that moment, but that he really liked him, which surprised me. Because somewhere along the way, we kept thinking they're going to vote Naseer off the very first thing, get rid of him. And now all of a sudden, he's saying nice things about him and what a nice guy he is. And that surprised me. Did it surprise you?
They've been seesawing a lot on people there. So, no, I guess not.
I didn't think we'd seen enough of that tribe since they hadn't lost. We hadn't seen as much, and there's no way to really know till they go to tribal what's going to happen. But okay, what else did you want to say about the Green Tribe getting ready for tribal council?
Well, we were both excited because we had Genie to go. We figured this was going to play out this way.
Which is funny because we didn't talk about it ahead of time. We both chose the Green Tribe and Genie again. We're not usually that much on the same page, but...
Well, we're consuming the same information, listening to the
Yeah,
same listener
that's true.
feedback, and then weighing it and going, hey, I think it's going to go this way. So
Yeah, but that's never stopped me before. We're going off on tangents.
yes,
So.
sometimes you concoct
But-
elaborate
It's
stories.
like, oh wow, we went with the same person again.
Yep.
And I said, what? Oh no, maybe we shouldn't do that. Hasn't worked out yet so far.
Yeah, we didn't have the same safe picks, which we
didn't,
haven't
no.
had. Yeah.
Thank goodness.
JD says that he doesn't want her to roll the die.
Well, no.
He wants her gone. He's trying to convince her not even to try to roll it. And this is where he even potentially had an opportunity. If he had been a little more tuned in to the threat that Shan represented, then this would have been
A perfect opportunity
an amazing play.
to tell Genie about his extra vote and that, say, hey, I'm willing to play this.
Let's do this.
Let's take control.
I can't trust her. She's holding information from me.
Can't trust her.
And busting my chops.
Can't trust Ricard.
And you would have had a great JD story. It would have been some kind of redemption from the big poser ending that we end up getting here.
Well, and even if she balked at getting rid of Shan, at the very least they could have taken Ricard. She wouldn't have hesitated to do that.
Yeah.
And he still could have put the two of them more in control.
Oh, what could have been. Poor JD.
Yeah, but, from his point of view, Shan was his person.
Yep, he had it on lock.
And everybody believed that. So, but she can't be everybody's person.
And Shan's gonna try to get Genie to calm down, and she ends up telling Genie, well, we can trust Ricard. I don't think we can trust JD. I thought, well, that might work on some level. Mm-hmm. You can't trust either one of them, but definitely JD's more of a flip-flop than Ricard is.
What Shan means is that she could trust Ricard. Yes.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
how do you think she managed this whole thing? How would you grade her?
She did great.
Yeah.
She did absolutely great, because even she was shocked
Shan.
that he did it. That JD gave her back the extra vote.
Yeah.
Duh. That's pretty close to a la Eric. So, I was like, come on. I mean, that was just a setup for, hey, I could get the extra vote. Why wouldn't she do it?
It was more, I don't think it's close to Reichenbach actually at all, but it's definitely,
it was as close as we've had lately.
It's very close to what Sarah Lucina did. So
anyway, I couldn't believe he gave it to her. I thought, really?
I could.
Really? Well, I guess in his defense, that she did give it back to him after the last one. Mm-hmm. So in his mind, well, she gave it back when I asked, so why wouldn't she do it again? And I understand that she's paranoid and she's panicking. I understand that. So if this will make her know that I'm with her, we'll do it.
He almost defeated the attack. He almost turned it. He said, I can't leave it. I can't leave it here at camp. And then she pulled, can I hold it? And then boom. Yep, because of that precedent, it happened again.
Can I hold it so you can't use it?
So Shan's evil hum comes back because she's working her machinations there.
Oh, well.
And she even openly considers it this time. Maybe I should get rid of him so I can keep it permanently.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's a really good move on her part. So, okay, I thought Tribal Council Genie did a great job of making everyone believe, meaning JD and Jeff mostly, that she knew she was done. She was going.
Yep.
And JD got so focused on manipulating her not to play the die that I think he lost sight of all the other. He didn't see any attack, or he wasn't suspicious at all, because so many people have told us that they could tell certain things and you get more suspicious by the way people won't talk to you, or they won't look you in the eye, or they won't say certain things to you, and so it does give them that little heebie-jeebies about it.
Sure.
And, but he seemed to not have that at all.
I'm not sure how good in general he would be on picking up on those things. He's not portrayed, the version of him that we get, which is not the real person. We know that, right? We acknowledge that.
Absolutely.
But the version that we get of him as a character in the game is that he lacks a lot of awareness.
True.
Not only of what's happening and his interactions with others, but of his own abilities. Although there was some humbling and acknowledgement of that this time. Like somehow it had registered on a level, but
he's out there going, let me play again. I'll do better next time. So, he wanted it. He really wanted it. But like I said, I wanted him to be him. I wanted him to play as JD, not try to be a previous survivor. But okay.
He's facing a challenge that a lot of folks do, which is knowing who you are and what you're capable of. It's something that, we spend lifetimes working on. But if you show up out there with a distinct gap in that space, even though you've made it through casting somehow, it might be you made it through casting because they recognize that in you, is that there's a lot of talk, but there's not a lot to do.
Did you believe Ricard when he said that it really hurt their feelings with every vote off?
No.
No, I
not
didn't.
at all.
I thought, no, I don't buy that at all. But I do think Genie was extremely sincere when she said she was blindsided, as Brad was.
Mm-hmm.
That was real, and we saw that real time.
I liked what she said too. We went from awesome Nathan, the guy who was teaching them all the skills, to being here and having to do this.
Yeah, she was just sure after they ate all that fish and all, they'd have all the energy and
Learned all
they
those.
could get in there and win the challenge.
Yep.
Didn't happen. Okay, I was buying that it was Genie going at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were both like, oh, come on, Genie, use the die. Come on, do it.
Yeah.
And then we saw.
Even though we had picked her, and we would get the points if she were voted out. Yeah.
It's like, oh, she knew she didn't need to.
I thought she had quit.
Yeah, we were buying it. We'd bought into it hook, line, and sinker. And we thought we were getting a vote-off point.
When she said that she'd missed these guys, she'd been beaten down to the bare bones.
And even cried.
But they had bonded, yeah.
I was like, whoa, who knew she had that in her? Huh.
Well, maybe
Of course,
it was true.
Maybe she wasn't as sure as, that it would go down, that she could trust Ricard or Shan.
Yeah, you can make those statements either way, can't you?
Yeah, either way. So, okay. And JD tells us it's never easy. After Genie cries and says, I believe we've all bonded, and JD's, it's never easy. I thought, And it's time to vote.
I like that he did acknowledge there at the end that honestly he hadn't been doing that well in the game when he was trying to make his case for how there were still more boxes he needed to check, though, on his Survivor to-do list.
But what do you think about him asking them any particular reason? And Shan said, we love you.
Love you.
And
You rock, JD.
So they gave him no answer.
No. That's all you need
Not
to
that
know
we saw
right there.
anyway. But I'm surprised he asked.
I'm not surprised at all. I'm not even surprised at what he said after he talked about being blindsided.
No, I wasn't either.
His last words were, at least
my hair
looks
good.
cool. Yeah. Which tells you just about everything you needed to know
And
there.
it did look good. Me looked really good. So,
I thought that looked a little doofy that time, but
well, you might, but I thought it looked really good. And
okay.
And if you're going home, it's your time to go. You should look good. So, good on you, JD.
Yep.
You look good.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
So, what did you think of the episode on the whole?
Great. Shan gets an extra vote. I don't know if I'm a Shan fan. I like she's really playing the game and playing it hard, but I still don't know that I'm supportive of her.
Definitely not Team Cruella, Ricard, and Shan, the mafia pastor. Not there, but you can certainly appreciate the gameplay, seeing the easy mark in JD, seeing the big threat in Brad, and how they've taken care of that and came out ahead in the sense that removed the threats and stole the extra vote. So basically, Shan is a steal a vote.
Did you realize that I hadn't really focused on it, that there are more women left in the game, considerably more women than men?
Okay, so let's move on then to, if you're done talking about the episode, we'll move on to next time on.
I was already looking at the roster and thinking, I didn't realize what they were saying about.
So I'll just say on the episode before we do move, and we'll get there in just a second,
no problem.
is that it was because we were so invested, we had Genie to go, and we didn't want the blue tribe to do that. It was just like, ooh, all over the place, getting tugged back and forth. Don't do it, don't do it. Save
And
yourself,
yet,
Genie.
oh, tee-hee-hee, that was funny, but
Yeah,
no, don't do it.
right.
Don't let them do it, Naseer. Don't let them.
So I enjoyed it, and I'm disappointed to see Luvu go down that path, and would have thought Deshawn knew better. There is that one circumstance where I can kind of see throwing when the tribes have been swapped and you're in a tribe where you have the majority and you're choosing to throw the challenge just so that you can save one of your alliance members that's in a different tribe but in the voting minority of that tribe. And so I can understand considering it in that scenario to try to preserve your alliance if you're confident in it. Even then, things can go astray and it's super risky. But this kind of thing, because you're bored, which is essentially what all that was about with Erika, she kicked that off because she was bored. She had been quiet, and like she said, she'd been the lamb, and she really wanted to be a lion. And so here it is,
time to play.
Day 8, and yeah, she wants to get involved instead of, hey, let's hold what could be the numbers so
And
that we can control it all the way out. There's always time to play at the end.
That didn't work so well.
No, I'm disappointed in her. I'm gonna have to start thinking about a different USB because she basically she blew her game up with that. It seems like. Do you think they'll try to throw another challenge to get rid of her again?
I don't know. I think it would be a mistake
So
with
now
the
you've
numbers
got-
the way they are. You got 8 women and 5 guys, and Ricard's not going with any of those guys. He's so bound to Shan. I don't think he would even consider it. They may not know that, but I'm certain of it in my own mind.
You know, Erika could potentially sit out both challenges next time since they're down to 3. I don't know if Heather will go in and try to do another challenge or not. This could be a blessing for Heather somehow. The staggering incompetence she demonstrated on the reward challenge and them not using her for challenges prior to that could make her look like such a low-level threat if she can somehow hang on to the merge. Mm-hmm. If they don't self-destruct or have some need to get rid of her, she'll disappear because she will not be a threat.
That's right. That's how that works.
Yeah.
That's exactly how that works. If you can just get there.
Right. Okay, next time on Survivor, Genie tells us that she is desperate. And we see her running down the trail, and then
Everyone for themselves.
she finds the hidden beware advantage. I'm assuming that's what it is. It could be just
Could be something else. We don't know.
It could be another advantage because it's looking like they're all going to be beware advantages. But I'm thinking it's
It's probably the one for the idol.
the idol because
That's
they're
my
so
guess.
desperate to have the what is it, the thridle.
But
the tridle.
Blue's not. We don't even see him looking.
Yeah, no, that's really
It's like what?
it's really disappointing. I'm not sure. I wonder if Deshawn forgot what Evvie said. She appeared to be laying it all out for him.
I don't know if she did or not. We'll have to go back and. Now I'm doubting that because why wouldn't
Because of
he
the
be
lack of
searching?
action,
And
yeah.
we're not seeing anybody really searching that much.
And to your earlier point a few moments ago, Danny, it tells us he's nervous that the women are going to have the numbers, and the read on that is at the merge.
Well, yeah, that's what made me wonder. Him saying that in the next on is what made me wonder if, maybe they're choosing Erika. They're feeling like maybe they need to get some of the women numbers down. Maybe that's really why they were. It's like, well, we don't trust her, so let's get the women numbers down and get rid of somebody we don't trust.
Yep. So I think that's still lingering, that idea of throwing it to.
Maybe.
Because, again, their demonstration, even with second string Erika and Naseer in the challenge, they still won.
If they're going to try to do that, they have to bring Naseer into the plan. Otherwise,
That's where I would hope he would just put his foot down and say, no, that's
No,
a terrible
we're not doing
idea.
that. That's terrible.
I don't care if she's
Not
targeting
having
me.
people
Don't
see
destroy
me
our
do
tribe.
that.
Yeah.
I was so surprised that Danny gave in that easily. I just didn't think he would, but oh well.
And then we cut to Yase, and Tiffany's at it again. She's telling Liana that they have to go through Xander's bag and that they have to get him out.
And who goes through the bag? Liana.
We don't think
So-
Tiffany would get her hands dirty, do you?
It's not looking that way, is it?
She's the boss. She's the capo.
Joe. But I thought, oh, that's still holding my attention, going, okay, what are they going to do next time?
So why would they feel a need to go through his bag? He's already shared with them all the things he has. Does that mean something changed? Huh?
I don't know.
See what I'm saying?
Yes, I follow your drift.
So Genie finds the beware advantage. So she's going to reactivate the second leg of the tridal.
Tridal?
Yeah, the tri-idol.
Oh, tridal.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Well, but don't they know that he has an extra vote?
Yes, he told them.
Okay, yeah, he told them that. But he didn't necessarily tell them that he had the third immunity for the idol, did he?
Yep, he shared
he told
everything with Evvie.
That's right. That's before he knew
Okay,
Evvie was
you're
a double
almost with me.
agent.
You're almost
Okay,
with me.
I've caught up with that.
But why would you need to look again?
I don't know how much Tiffany trusts Evvie.
Okay, that's fair in the sense that Tiffany could have forgotten everything Evvie said since she wanted to
True.
ignore it. But
Because remember, she had the whole fit, and Evvie's like, I read it. I know what it said.
So here's what I was trying to get to.
Okay.
One reason that she might be anxious to go back through his bag to see if it was actually there is because the blue one got activated, and Evvie would recognize that sentence. So Xander would say his, Genie would say her part, and then whoever on blue finds it would say theirs.
Ooh,
And
yeah,
then now
cool.
all of a sudden Tiffany wants to go through the bag.
There's a live idol.
Yes. So that's another way. It could just be yet another advantage he's potentially dealing with, or a third option, like you said, that she's just forgotten everything that Evvie had shared with her, and so she's just bluntly suspicious again.
True.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it already. How about a JSFL
I
update?
know, I have been every week too.
Yeah.
Okay, there are 4 people tied in first with 19 points in JSFL.
Nice.
There are 29 people who lost their USB. 72 people lost a safe point for JD.
Oh, poor Parker. I just thought of Parker. He was such a JD
Oh,
fan.
you lost a safe point too.
Yes, but I was thinking
Oh, 'cause
he was
he
such a
loves
fan
him
of
so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He was never you, Parker. He was never
No.
as much as you identified there. I don't think he was you.
And back to JSFL. Congratulations to the 15 people who gained a vote off point. As far as the side challenge goes, with 17 points, Cold Mike and Rebecca are tied. With 16, Jeremiah. 15, we have Michael, Parker, and Stacy. 14, Jay, Kindred,
wonder if that
Justin,
means
and
we all-
Randy.
We all had JD safe.
And 9 points, Drew.
All right, Drew. Oh, Drew. Well, there we go. Anything else you want to say about the episode?
Wow, I can't think of anything right now other than I look forward to rewatching it.
What I'm looking
Again.
forward to is hearing what the other super fans thought about it. So we would love to have you join us on the listener feedback show. We've been having phenomenal shows.
Oh, yeah.
Just fantastic. People getting feedback in early. Like, I think we had feedback two or three calls last Wednesday before
Oh,
we
yeah,
were done,
several.
right?
Yeah,
It's great. And you guys are doing an awesome job getting it in early. I appreciate that. And what was I going to... Oh, yeah. Jeremiah actually is naming his Jeremiah feedback instead of Jeremiah's, because the apostrophe S, the only reason I think to mention this would always break my workflow. And so I would go through and do the conversions, try to normalize them, and one would be missing, and it was always his. But he's taken to naming his differently. So even that's going great. It's great flow. Thank you, Jeremiah, for naming it without the apostrophe. That's going well too. So
who knew? I had no clue.
we would love to hear from you. Come be a part of this listener feedback show. We have a blast. You may not have a lot of Survivor fans in your circle of friends and family, but you got Survivor friends here, and you got super fans that you can contribute and come be a part of the show with us here. You can leave a voicemail at 206-350-1547 or toll free 844-643-8737. That's like the easiest way to do it. Now the quality's not always there. Sometimes it'll mess you up. We've had some calls where it's chopping people up a little bit, but I'll do my best to pull out what you're saying even when we have those kind of situations, and make sure that we got something coherent that comes through there. You can record your own audio like Shay's been doing. She's doing a great job. She's getting better every week, less and less background noise.
She's already sent her feedback.
Oh, she's already sent her feedback. Fantastic. She's just been super excited about having the podcast back, and especially having Survivor back and being able to
back.
to check in with everyone. So she's been having a blast recording her own audio now, and she sends it as an attachment as an email. If you're not quite up to having your voice out there, you can type it up and send it in an email to us, and we'll read it into the show for you. That's the email address, joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. Feedback's due noon Pacific time on Saturday. And the other thing to mention is that we need for you to keep it in that 3-minute range. We've been having upwards close to 30 different submissions each week, and so we need to do that. You have your hand up. Yes, Joanne.
You need to ask if anybody saw the puzzle. We couldn't find it.
Oh, the Rebus puzzle? Yeah, I didn't see it this time through. So, I mean, you can always go to the Survivor GIG, Game in a Game.
Yeah. We did that.
You can go to the website. And
we didn't see it in the episode.
But I didn't see where the Rebus puzzle popped up there.
Where is that?
So you're asking people to say where that is.
Yeah, if you saw it, tell us where it is.
That's one thing you can do in your feedback. I always have some starter questions in the show notes for this recap, so you can go in, and that might get you started if you're
especially
not quite
for
sure
people
what
who
to
are
do.
new and not used to doing it.
Yeah, Samantha's always good. She'll do that a few times a season and show how that's done. And I think that's about it. Anything else? Oh, the website, getsfp.com. If that's where you can find all the numbers and the email address. Get SFP, Get Survivor Fans Podcast, getsfp.com. That's where you can find the show notes.
I need something that I could buy a vote-off point.
Buy a vote-off point? What are you talking about?
I can't seem to get one on my own.
Oh.
Just have to get some of Jeff's currency so that I could buy a vote-off.
Oh, you want a fire token for JSFL, do you? No economies here.
Can't seem to get it in either way.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's good.
Have a good one.